If you guys haven't checked it out already, check out our 6-week shoulder building program. It's been selling off the shelves like crazy, and I hear there's an outstanding amount of pumpkins that have been coming in for the fall. I'm not sure if there's a correlation between the two, those pumpkin-sized delts, or if it's just almost Halloween. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Check it out. Find out for yourself. Stay tuned for the release of Hyperion Sports Nutrition, my supplement line that will be coming to you this fall. What's up, guys? It's Bama Breezy coming at you live. I am your host, Stacy Bama Burr, and this is the Champion Mindset Podcast. What's up, guys? It's Bama Burr coming at you live for the newest episode of the Champion Mindset Podcast. What I want to be talking about today is going to be treating others like you want to be treated. I'm going to be talking about the golden rule. I'm going to be talking about treating others the way you wish to be treated. It seems like some people were never taught this rule, and this is one of the rules that I grew up. This is absolutely the way, the truth, the light, right? You treat others the way that you want to be treated. You treat everyone the same. You treat the janitor with the same respect that you treat the principal. You treat the person that makes $1 million the same way you treat your next door neighbor. You treat people of the same value of importance no matter who they are, what their last name is, what color they are, what shape they are, what race they are. No matter anything about them, you treat everyone the same. You treat everyone as your equal. That was what I was taught, and that's always how I've been. I treat everyone the same. And it seems like nowadays people treat everyone with a level of importance, right? People treat people with a high level of importance, and then they treat others with no importance, no value for who they are, how they feel, their thoughts, anything of the sort, right? Every person that I meet at an expo, at a meet, I make sure I give them genuine interaction. Is it draining? Absolutely. But the thing is, I treat everyone with respect. I treat everyone not thinking about what they can do for me. Every person that I meet, I want to give them some type of positive impact. I want people that when they leave from having a communication, a conversation with me, I want them to leave better than what they were when they started. I want people to leave better than they came. I want people to walk away with a sense of purpose, with a sense of being, with a sense of belief. I want to make sure that I treat everyone with that respect. And that's been my goal, and that's what I've been trying to do for so long. And people will tell me, I just think it's great to watch you interact with people and just, to be authentically you. What? What does that even mean? Authentically me? What? I had no idea that other people just had an on-off switch. I had no idea that some people treated people of higher importance. They'd call these back. They'd do this. They'd put on a facade for the people that they liked. They'd put on a facade for the people that they didn't like. They'd put on a facade for whoever was the highest level of importance that they needed to impress. Wow, that's really complicated. I don't even know how people manage that. I didn't even learn how to put on makeup or anything of the sort. You guys got different masks, different people identities. Whoo, man. So much to take care of. I mean, I'm sure one of the facades, one of your faces likes the base shade a little bit darker, and then the other one likes the fake eyelashes at night. That's just a lot to think about. I can't even think about being one person, much less being 12 other people. Wake up. What's the point of being 12 other people? What's the point of treating people different? What's the point of valuing someone else's opinion and time over someone else? Respect everyone. Respect everyone all the same. There's a lot of things that go on in people's lives that nobody knows really much about, right? What if you had a close friend that had cancer? What if you had a close friend that was dying from an illness that nobody knew anything about? What if you knew that you had people in your life whose days were numbered? What if you knew? How would you treat them differently? What would you do different? My goal is now, and has always been, to treat everyone the same. Wow, that doesn't sound very, empathetic of you. You wouldn't treat the person that has 10 days to live versus the person that has, young, has a whole life left? No. You want to know why? Because every single day that we wake up is a blessing. We are not guaranteed anything in this life. So I think we should treat every single day as a blessing. I think we should treat every single day as this could be the best day of my entire life. This could be the last day of my entire life. So make sure you're doing things every single day that are going to push you towards your purpose, that are going to push you towards your goal. This is really important, guys, because we think we would treat the person differently that only has 10 days left to live versus the person who we think has 10 years, who we think has 30 years. But you never know. In the blink of an eye, something could change. Things happen. Make sure you are living every single day, that if you were to die tomorrow, you would know that you gave your best effort, that you did everything that you wanted, everything that was in your power. You did it. Everything that you wanted, you did. Or you made an effort towards doing it. If I died tomorrow, oh man, that would be brutal. I wonder what I'd be, I wonder what I'd be dressed in. I wonder what kind of music you guys would play. Mo Bamba by Sheck West better play, I'm just saying. But guys, we never know. We never know. We are never guaranteed anything. I said it before, time is not renewable. Your time is so valuable. Make sure you're doing what you want to do. Make sure you're chasing your dreams. Make sure you are pursuing whatever it is that sets your heart on fire. If you don't know how, figure it out. Figure it out because it's out there for you. Do the things that you want to do. If you can't do them now, if you can't financially, afford to just go take a vacation, you and your family, to Hawaii because you've always wanted to, save up for it. Find a way. Budget accordingly. Put money back. Do what you can. Work your way towards a goal. Work your way towards doing something that you've always wanted to do. If you've always wanted to do it, what's holding you back? What is holding you back from doing all the things that you really want to do? Is it because you think that they're outlandish? It's because you think they're not possible? They are. They are, guys. I'm back here in my hometown of Darlington, South Carolina. I came up to see my family for a little while after the hurricane and just, check on my grandma, my dad, monitor their health, and make sure I could help take care of anything if they needed any help. And guys, let me tell you, being back here feels surreal. Being back here feels so different this time because I don't live here anymore. I see things differently. I see the differences between where I came from and where I am now. And what it took for me to grow from my environment and from having roots grounded here to become the person that I needed to be. I had to adapt. I had to get better. I had to surround myself with people that were on a similar mission to me, and I did that. I did that, and I see how. I see why. Being back here has shown me how much I have grown since I moved down to Gainesville, Florida in May of this year. Since before then, when I moved down to Coral Springs to live with my coach Trevor Jaffe before I competed at the Arnold. I see what I had to do to grow and put myself in a better situation and put myself in a position to make moves, to make opportunities come, to make opportunities happen, to make things happen. I see what it is that I had to do and what I came from. And I am so glad, honestly, that I didn't come from much, because I realized I didn't need much. I realized I didn't need much, and I could pack up everything that I had in a couple of suitcases and go down to Coral Springs when I went to train with Trevor, to see that I could sell my house and all my property and my established business, that I could sell it, get rid of it, and start somewhere else with something new, because I've never had too much in the first place. And guess what? When you haven't had too much, you don't miss anything. There's not much to lose, guys. If you've never had anything, you don't really miss anything. There's nothing for you to lose. The underdog mentality, you think it's holding you back, but really, it should be fueling your success. What do you have to lose? What do you really have to lose if you chase after your dreams and you lose everything? Start over. Starting over is not hard whenever you've never had much. You know you can do it. Yeah, listen to that again. You guys are finding these excuses. Well, I didn't come from anything. I'm not anything special. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I never had all the opportunities. You don't have opportunities. You create opportunities. You make moves. You make things happen because you live every single day to the fullest. And you do what you got to do. You do what needs to be done to propel your success, to propel you forward. That's what you have to do. That is the champion mindset. It's not about who you once were. It's not about where you're from. It's not about all the things that you think hold you back. It's not about what you were. It's about what you are. It's about who you're trying to be. It's about the future. It's about the direction that you're going. It's about creating the momentum, going on to the next. Who are you trying to be? Who are you going to be? Who are you supposed to be? Follow your dreams. Chase them. Chase them down. Tackle them. And if they get away, you better get back up and you better keep running. You better keep running. Tackle. Miss. Get back up. Do it again. Do it better. Be bigger. Be stronger. Be faster. So every single time you go for the takedown, eventually you're going to get it. You see that? You're going to get it if you just keep improving, if you just keep getting better. But how do you do that? You do that one day at a time. Listen to me. Change starts now. Change started yesterday. All it takes to change your life is one little moment. One little moment where you decide you've had enough. All you need is one moment of absolute courage to say, I have had enough. I've had enough being the person that I am right now. I'm not okay with being this. I'm not okay with less than. I'm not okay with less than what my potential holds. If you are not okay with that, all you have to do is make a change. And all it takes is one moment of absolute courage to change your life. One moment to make the declaration that you want to be better, that you are going to be better, that you are going to do the things that you have always wanted to do. Why? Because you recognize that nothing was holding you back except for yourself. You realize that when you were taught that everyone was created equal and that the golden rule applied, that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. You realize that was golden. You realize that that was the most accurate advice we could be given, because everyone is equal. We all have the same guaranteed number of days. We all have the blessing to create opportunities. Some people that are more successful than others, some people that have more money than others, some people that have more schooling than others, some people that came from different backgrounds than others. It doesn't make anyone greater than, less than. It makes what they've done with their situation and what they've done with their circumstances and what they've done to create what kind of opportunities for themselves. That's what it shows. Successful people are the same kind of people, have the same type of blood, have the same type of skin as people that are of different categories, right? We are all the same, but what we have created, our wealth, our status, whatever, has to do with decisions we have made for ourselves over time. I don't care who you used to be. That's something that I think a lot of people have a hard time with, is they care a lot about who people used to be. Well, this person has a bad reputation. This person does that. This person said this about this person, or I had a bad interaction with them. You know what? What is your personal interaction with them? What is your personal take on the things that they do? What is your personal opinion of that person? If your personal opinion of that person, of the things that you have dealt with them with, if they have basically been who they say they are, guess what? Let them show you who they are. I don't think we should listen so much to what other people say about different people. I think we should just let people show us who they really are. Because if you just interact genuinely with people, they'll show you who they really are. They'll show you what they value. And guess what? We from then make the decision if we want to be involved with them or if we don't. If we like who they are as a person, if we like who they show us they are, we can continue to, work on a friendship, a relationship, a partnership, a business endeavor, whatever it is. But who we partner ourselves up with, who we deal with, who we hang out with, that's all up to us. So let people show you who they are. And when I say let people show you who they are, I mean this in a bunch of different senses, right? Hanging out with people whenever it's always a good time, it's always under the best situation, the best circumstance, that might not be who somebody really is, If everything's perfect, it's easy to be calm. If everything's perfect and every situation goes exactly our way, it's, everybody's a happy-go-lucky person and they'll take care of you. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. But really, some situations require you to go through some dark moments. Some situations and relationships, you've got to go through some darker times. You've got to go through a little bit of turmoil to really see where people stand in any kind of relationship. If it's a business relationship or if it's, a partnership deal, relationship, career-wise, whatever it is, that will show you who people really are. Because I say that, honestly, when I talk to people, I try to treat everyone the same and their level of importance relatively the same, because my interaction is genuine with every single person across the board, no matter who they are. You'll see people's energy shift whenever you're not valuable to them anymore. Oh, this is an important topic. You'll see people's energy shift whenever you're not relevant, whenever it doesn't help them, whenever you may be struggling. Who's there for you? Whose energy doesn't change? Who has been with you from the jump? And who honestly values who you are as a person? Think about that. Think about who values you as a person and not the facade that you try to put on. All these facades and everything in the fitness industry, treating different people, based on their level of importance or how many followers they have, you guys can keep all that. If that's what I got to do to get, 100,000 followers, if that's what I've got to do to get however many likes it takes to, hit a target subscribers, blah, 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 blah. If that's what I got to do, I'm not in. People have told me all kind of things. Well, do this with the podcast. Make sure you do that. I'm going to do what I want to do. You want to know why? It's what I've always done. And insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, what if you're confident about doing what you've already done and you're not looking to change your result? What I've built over time has been organic. What I've built has shown me what people value me. What people value in a sense of not necessarily who I am or what I can do for them. I like to be so fluid in situations that I'm just like every other person. And that's what I try to preach with the champion mindset. That's what I really try to reiterate with the champion mindset. And being fluid, being whoever you need to be at a certain time situation. If you need to be a friend, if you need to listen to somebody, or if you need to be a leader, no matter what it is. I tell you, sometimes I work with my videographer, Mitch, and I'll hold lights, I'll do whatever. It doesn't matter how many all-time world records I hold. What matters is the type of person that you are. What matters is what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice. So guess what? You can be different people. You don't have to always sit up on a high horse. You don't have to always act like, oh, well, I hold all-time world records, so I can't cut my grass. What were you thinking, peasant? We're all the same people. Maybe we just have different strengths. Maybe I have different specialties. Maybe you have more money than me. Maybe I have more grass than you. I don't know. It doesn't ever matter how much you have of it or whose is greener and who is not. It doesn't matter anything but the present and what you're doing to create the person that you want to be, to create the situation that you want to have. My grass could be completely dead. I could have completely burnt it, but maybe, that's what we used to do out in South Carolina, out here. My dad and I, we would burn the grass. We would burn the grass. It was one of those, it didn't make sense at the time, but you burn everything so that way whenever it grows back, it's all fresh. It's all fresh, it's all green, it's all absolutely, you obliterate the yard and the yard looks ridiculous for several weeks, right? It's black. What happened here? But you burn it so that way you can start fresh, you start anew. I think that's really important, and I've never thought about it much until just now. Being able to burn, being able to completely abandon everything that you were basically told and taught, and to create something new, to create different thought patterns, the ability to be a different person, the ability to change how people see you. You have that power. Everyone used to see me as a power lifter, an aggressive, overly aggressive power lifter. Not the best form, not the best technique, but boy, did she have some fight. Boy, did she have some heart. Boy, could she grind. She's crazy. She's going to hurt herself. She'll never actually make it. She'll never be successful. I heard all these things. But boy, did they say. Boy, she really did it. Boy, she really did it. Boy, she is the best in the world. Because guess what? That heart and that grind is what kept me getting better and better and better. And every time I failed at going to become the best in the world, every time I failed, I could just relate it back. You got to burn if you want it to grow back and grow back better. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to sacrifice everything and start new. You have to be willing sometimes to move somewhere different, to go down a different targeted path. You have to be willing to give up what you've known if you want a different result. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over. If you want to change, you can't be resistant. If you won't change, you can't be resistant. All you have to do is make the decision. You just have to make the decision to do it. And then everything from then on should revolve around that. You don't have to know where you're going exactly. You just have to know that you're going to get there. You don't have to know the exact destination. You just have to have a direction. And if you have a direction, you can create momentum. You can create momentum every single time that you win the day. The only thing that's guaranteed to us is the now. So win in every moment. Win in every breath you take. Win in what you're trying to do. My goal is to make the world a better, stronger place. So with every single breath that I take, that's my goal. That's my motivation. I want to make the world a better, stronger place because I know I can. Because I know what the champion mindset means to me. And I'm determined to share that with as many people that will listen. So what are you waiting for? That's the question. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for the perfect moment. You're waiting for when you have everything figured out. You're waiting for when the budget works out exactly right. You're waiting for when you have financially just enough money. You're waiting for yourself to be strong enough before you compete. You're waiting until you're ready to do all these things. You're never going to be ready. I repeat that. You're never going to be ready. If you have all these if-then statements, well, I'll be ready when, I'll be there, and I'll be able to do it when. If you think about all these things and that is where you're at, you're never going to be ready because something is always going to happen. Something is always going to happen in life. That's the number one thing. The only thing that's constant is change, right? Shout out to my girl Kayla over at Raw Apparel. That's one of the phrases that she uses all the time. But think about that. The only thing that is constant is change. So if you're waiting for the perfect moment and then another variable shifts that you weren't ready for, poof, there goes the plan. You're never going to be ready if you're waiting for the right moment. And guess what? Waiting is a killer. Waiting is the trap. I'm not saying be reckless. Maybe a little bit. But guess what? Waiting is the dream killer. Hesitation is the dream killer. The longer you sit around and wait, the less you're taking action. Waiting is a passive thing. Waiting means that you're not moving in the right direction. You're at a standstill. So if you're waiting for that perfect moment, if you're waiting for that perfect time, stop. Stop waiting. Start doing. Don't wait for perfect. Train for the capacity to adjust. Train to have the adaptability to be able to evolve into whatever you need to be for the set situation and scenario. I just announced the other day that I was signing up for a Savage race, a Savage OCR race. I used to race OCR. I don't know if any of you guys know. Some of you loyal OG followers, you guys might. I believe it was 2014, 2015. I've done 4 different races. I got my trifecta in 2015, I believe. I did one of the shorter runs, the medium length run, and the big boy, the beast. I think it's the sprint, the super, and the beast. So the sprint is the short 3-boy run, and the super is the 8-mile. I did my 8-mile up in Virginia, and I will never forget. I ran with a team, and the 8-mile super that was up in Virginia, I have never seen mountains that aggressive. I have never seen mountains that aggressive. It was absolutely insane. I remember there was one point where it had to have been a mile completely straight up. You couldn't see because it was terrible weather. It was wet, grimy, exactly how you would imagine out of like a zombie movie or something. It was just foggy and people were just, left and right, just throwing, just falling down or whatever because it was a tough race. I mean, it was tough. The terrain was really rough. There were a ton of mountains, hills, but it was pretty brutal. But I remember there was this one time, and it was that mile straight up. You couldn't see because the fog was blocking you. So all you had to do was just keep moving. You just had to keep moving. And I swear it was straight up. And so you just keep on going. You couldn't see an end in sight. You couldn't see an end at all. And I just kept moving. I kept moving. And for me personally, I'm not the person that can sit still and I'll take breaks. I have to continuously move. Even if it's at a slower pace, I just have to keep moving because if I stopping really, I'm telling you, in all senses, stopping just gives you an opportunity to rest, for sure. But if you're trying to get to a set target and task, I think pacing yourself is really important, because if you go too fast and you have to stop, you have to break down and decompress, get everything, moving back in the right direction. It's harder. Inertia keeps you rolling if you're steadily moving in the right direction, but stopping and going, think about cranking your car up and, on and off. Crank your car up and go 100 miles an hour, then you have to cut it right back off. Think about that versus if you just put your car on cruise control at 20, right? If you're just continuously moving forward, you'll probably end up getting there at the same time, because that continuous motion is going to get you there with less interruptions than going, full send and then have to brake, full send and then have to brake. That's what you pace yourself for, right? So I would pace myself going up this mountain. I was going, and left and right people were stopping, pulling, just going off to the side to, eat something, rest, breathe. It was disgusting. And I was crawling on my hands and knees, just crawling up. And I remember when I finally made it up to the top, I remember it was like something out of a zombie movie for real. It was just people were laid out at the top, just scattered left and right. Whenever, the incline finally broke and it was like you made it to the top of this hill, it was insane to me. And I remember I had no idea what to be prepared for, right? I had no idea. My training at this time, I was in grad school, and I'm still coming off of, being a college athlete. I was still very agile. I was doing agility drills, conditioning, GPP work, and then heavy compound movements to go along with it. But I wasn't strictly just training powerlifting then. And wow, I was just so adaptable. I could adapt to anything, whatever it was. If I needed to run, I could run. If I needed to climb up a wall, I could climb up a wall. If I needed to duck under something, it was just so great to be able to move. It was so great to be able to adapt so well. And that's one thing that I missed so bad whenever I was powerlifting training strictly. I missed having variables change. I miss having things that stimulated my mind. Well, which way should I go? What should I do? Squatting, benching, deadlifting is great. I just do things a little bit differently now. I make sure my body can move better, right? Instead of focusing, I need to specifically be, the strongest at my squat. I need to be able to bench press 320 pounds. I focus on making sure I can move as efficiently as I need to. It's not so much on total strength, but basically I'm taking a step back to repair my body. I put my body through brutal training, strictly powerlifting specific, and it created some definite imbalances. It created some limitations with my mobility, and it's just one of those things I'm just adjusting now, and not being in pain daily has been such an improvement for my overall mental health. You never want to not go to the gym and train. You never want to feel like I have to do this. You want to remember that working out is an opportunity. I get to train. My body is healthy enough to do this. I can move. Think about the way you approach your training. Think about, instead of it being like a chore, it's something that you get to do because your body is so strong and you are so powerful, and you have the ability to move all your limbs. You have the ability to walk around with painless or semi-pain-free. You have the ability, and some people don't. When we look into training, like previously before I retired from powerlifting, I didn't want to go to the gym, right? I didn't look forward to training. I was like, oh, I have to go work out. And that honestly was one of the things, and it's quite on my honestly, because I don't know why I say that. That was one of the things that I realized towards the end of my career, that why I needed to find something else, why I needed to become the best in the world and then move on to a different endeavor, because I wasn't happy in my training anymore. I wasn't happy. And so if you're not happy and you're continuously putting your body into pain, guess what? It's up to you to make a change. It's up to you to make a difference. If you want something different, you have to do something different. So if I wanted to escape, the debilitating shoulder pain or any kind of issues like that, back pain, I was going to have to stop doing some of the movements that I previously was focusing so much time on, effort on, and energy on, right? It's very rare now that I'll do a straight bar bench press and my shoulder restrictions and pain has gone down so much because I don't have to put my body underneath that load anymore. I don't have to put myself in that position in order to elicit a certain strength response. And to me, that's so empowering that we have the ability to, I felt so trapped. I have to bench press because I have to be this strong. Now, guess what, guys? I don't have to do anything. I'm free from the confines of a certain sport or a certain thing, and we have to always remember that we are free human beings. I had to obsessively do the things that I did to become the best in the world, but now this after, and what I'm sharing with you guys, I'm going to share you the good and the bad. I'm going to share what I learned from doing this. I'm going to share with you all the pros and the cons so I can help you make a better informed decision on what it is that you're doing with your life. If you want to be the best at something, you are going to have to make sacrifices. If you want to be absolutely a lead at the top of anything, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to lose sleep. I'm trying to tell you guys that there's anything and everything out there possible for you. It's just what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to do. If you want to be, the number one, if you want to have millions of dollars, if you want to do all this stuff, you can. It's possible. I did it. I became the best in the world, just like I told you guys I was going to do. But why? Not because of good luck, not because of good form, not because I had the right last name, not because of anything. Not because I had the right sponsorship, not because somebody spoon-fed me to get there. I did it because I said I was going to do it, and I did. I put forth the work, I made it happen, and here we are. You can do that with anything you want to, guys. Listen to me. The reason why you're listening to me is because I'm the best in the world. Because I said I was going to do something. I said I was going to make a podcast. And guess what? Here we are. That's why you're listening to me. Say the things that you won't. Do the things that do the work that's required to be the person that you want to be. I promise you it's worth it. It's worth losing a little bit of sleep. It's worth not going out and staying at home. It's worth treating everyone the same because you never know who you're going to encounter. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know what person could have the best advice for you. You never know who you can learn from. I repeat that. Highlight this. You never know who you're going to learn from. You never know what somebody can teach you. And that person that you wrote off as less than because they made less money than you, that person that you wrote off because they didn't have the right degree in order to sit at the same table as you and present the same research as you, the person that you wrote off because you didn't think that they could have an intelligent conversation with you because of where they were from, that person that you wrote off could have the idea that changes your company. That person that you wrote off could have the secret ingredient that you've been missing. That person, just because of the way they look at things, they can see something different that you don't. Remember that. Remember that every person in this world has some type of value, and that means you. That means no matter who you are, where you come from, anything about you that you think is not enough, I promise you, you could be enough. You are enough. You can be enough if it's just the right situation. If you get the right opportunity, that's when you'll shine. And you shine because you create these opportunities, because you're not scared, because you're not being held back. Because if you get in a situation, you are going to respond. You are going to do what you need to do to succeed. You are going to do what you need to do to excel. Because you realize that you have the power. All you have to do is just do it. All you have to do is take action. All you have to do every single day is create the person that you're trying to become. If you start changing your patterns, if you start making better choices, if you start doing things that make sense, if you start doing things that help others, guess what? You're gonna get the help in the long run, because if everybody wins, let me repeat that, everybody wins. If everybody wins, everybody wins. So if you are doing something that is improving other people's lives, if you're giving back, if you're treating everyone as if we were all equal, if you're treating everyone with the same respect, guess what? Good things are going to happen. I've never once worried about anything that I did. You want to know why? Because I knew I would make it happen. I knew that if I was doing things for other people, if I was taking care of others, I would always be taken care of. Because guess what? You treat people the way you want to be treated. And so if there's ever any time of given chance, circumstance where something comes up, I know I'm not going to go without. I know I'm not going to go without because of what I'm willing to do for other people. I know that I will never go without because what you give, you're going to get it back. What you give, you're going to get it back tenfold. And that's what I think investing is about. That's what I think investing is about. Investing isn't always about financials. Investing is not always about details. Investing is putting yourself into something that could be something else. You got to put yourself in the right situation, the right circumstance, and do something for what you believe in. And guess what? That's investing. How about investing in yourself? How about treat yourself like that bank account? How about every time you walk across that, every time you walk past your piggy bank and you put a little something in it, think about that piggy bank as being you. Think about every little quarter that you put in, every little dime that you put in. I'm looking for a dime. Think about every little piece that you put in to that bank, and think about that as your mind. Think about all the pieces of information that you're putting into your mind. Make sure you're putting information in every single day. You got to build the bank. You got to build the bank with your thoughts. Every single thought that you think is something that's going to come back for you. When you open up the piggy bank and count how much money you have, when you count how many things that you have built, all the thoughts that you have told yourself, all the information that you taught yourself, it's going to come back for you. It's going to be useful. Knowledge is power. If there's something you don't know, learn. If there's something you don't know, find somebody that does and ask them about it. You guys want to know how I made it to, wherever I am now, best in the world, king of everything? You want to know how I made it here? Because I asked questions. You want to know how I made it here? Because I found people that knew more than me, and I wasn't afraid of asking questions. I wasn't afraid of being wrong. I wasn't afraid of saying what I thought so they could tell me something better. And you never know. Sometimes the way you think might be accurate. The way other people think might be accurate, but it might just be a different perspective. And I think that's something that's very important. We just might have a different perspective based on our teachings, based on our experiences. One thing that I always say is I don't think anybody or any thought, any philosophy is always right or wrong. What do I mean by that? We get different information in the fitness world and fitness industry. We get different information all the time, right? You learn that, this type of stretching is bad, but then in a different study, it proved that it was good. You learn that, this is good before workout, this is good after workout, but then you read, the exact reverse in the latest trend of, whatever's just come out. Things change and thoughts change and different type of training, becomes the hype, becomes less than. It's all just an ebb and a flow of everything, right? Different people have different interpretations, and there are different things that work for different people. And that's why I think there will never be any completely conclusive evidence for a lot of things, right? But I think that what we do is we work together to figure out what does work, right? Two people could have completely opposing thoughts and viewpoints, and guess what? They could both work. How is that possible? Because different things work for different people. Science is science. I will not debate facts. Science is science. Like, surprise, surprise, caloric deficit means weight loss. Ding, ding, ding. Caloric surplus means gain weight. That's a no-brainer. That's how that works. Simple math addition. I never was, a fan of math and, Pythagorean theorem. And once I started adding numbers in, woo, it was a wild world out there. That's why I became, a power lifter. All I had to do was add 45 plus 45. And even now, when you get into kilos and 2.2, I just have to get me a chart. Can I get a chart? Can I get a chart? Can I get a chart for 500, Alex? Or I just bring somebody back to the back with me That's a good, mathematician, Scott Miller. So that way, it's already taken care of for me, right? But guys, let me tell you, I think people can have opposing viewpoints, but still argue the same point. I think it's just everything's a different perspective, different experiences that have shaped different people and how they view different things. And that's something that I learned, and I became more confident in my approach to coaching by working with Trevor Jaffe. Trevor was my powerlifting coach and one of my absolute biggest motivators and helps into, being the best in the world and competing like I did. He really, he was a lifesaver for me. And he came at just such an opportune time, and I can't speak highly enough of him. And one of the things that he did for me was he basically mentored me. He mentored me for sure for my last 8 weeks leading into going to the Arnold to compete. I lived with him. I lived in his house. We trained in his garage. We would have different, think tanks. That's what we called it. We called it the think tank, where we just think tank. Think tank. We called it a think tank, right? Where we just spitball ideas off of each other and talk about our thoughts on this, our thoughts on that. And it really reminded me that although we had differences in thoughts and just the way we did certain things, but it all went back to the same basic principles. Our programming may be a little bit different, our exercise selection may be a little bit different, but basically, if there's a solid thought process, pattern, level of periodization, different stuff works, right? I've told people this for years and nobody wants to believe me because everybody wants to say, oh, well, I am the best coach, I am this, I'm that. If I don't say I'm the best coach in the world and I say I'm the best at everything, guys, come on, it's got to be. I don't think the best coach is something that's arguable because I think different coaches have different methods of ways that they coach. There are ways that they communicate that are different, ways they deliver information that are different. So although some coaches may feel they have superior, training philosophies, thought patterns, programming, they might not be quite as adequate in the communication skill as other coaches are. So for me, always, I was a really great communicator. I program well, but I really don't enjoy programming because there are different things that we can do, different exercises, but honestly, what works and what really works for me, for my athletes, is you have to be able to communicate with them because if you don't go into the gym and do the exercises that I have selected, guess what? It doesn't work, right? I can give you close grip bench or I can give you floor press. Either way, they're going to work the same if you don't do either one of them, right? So it's like you think you have to have the absolute, completely right combination of exercises to have an efficient program, but that's not the case. You have to have the proper communication with your athlete to discuss what they need, to discuss how their training is, to really be able to figure out what you need to do to coach them. Because to coach someone, for me, yes, absolutely. My goal is to get you stronger. My goal is to do whatever you want to do. And so if the goal is to get you stronger, absolutely. We have to have the right, exercises in there to do that. But I have to make sure you're mentally strong first. I have to know how to communicate with you to make sure that you are in the gym doing your job. Because those exercises work the same if you're not in there. You're going to make the same amount of progress if you're not doing that. And that's the thing. Is like there's not a right way or a wrong way. There are some things that don't make sense, and that's up to you as the consumer or you as the athlete to make sure you do your research on your coaches. There are people out there that'll sell you a crock of anything, right? There are people out there that are trying to sell you the latest supplement. Hyperion Sports Nutrition on aisle 7. Oh, what was that? Use code PAMA. But there are people out there that are trying to sell you something all the time, right? They just want to sell you that this is the quick fix. This is the way to go. This is the only way. That's not true. Because what that does is bottleneck. We think if we don't do it the right way, we can't do it the wrong way. What? I don't think there is a right or wrong. Everybody told me I would never make it based on how I trained, how I did things. But I did. I found a way. I made a way. If there's not a set way or path already, that just means it's up to you to blaze a trail. That means it's up to you to create a path, right? We think right way, wrong way. Of course, there's always a more efficient way. There's always, the best possible scenario. But guess what? You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it just completely all nailed down and be right all the time. I think I'd say this all the time. I never really knew how to squat. I just knew how to stand up. But I learned probably how to squat about a year ago. Like, when I first met Trevor, that's when I learned how to squat. Before then, I knew how to stand up. I didn't do anything the right way. But I already had 2 all-time world records. What? I didn't do anything the right way, but I had 2 all-time world records. Tell me that you can't do something. Tell me that because it's not perfect, it's not going to work. I've never had very much. I repeat that. I've never had very much. I've never had perfect. I've never had the best situation. I've never had the exact circumstance that I thought would be the best, right? But you adapt, you grow, you figure out what you have to do to become what you want to be. We do what we need to do every single day to become the person that we want to be. And so if all of us are doing that, then I think we should all treat each other with the same respect. I think we should all treat each other the way that we want to be treated. If you're not doing that for yourself, maybe you should. If you're not giving back to others, maybe you should. If you're constantly focusing on what you lack, maybe you should change your focus. Maybe you should talk to someone that has a little different perspective. Maybe someone that's got it worse off than you. Next time you complain about not having time to go to the gym or not wanting to go to the gym, go talk to somebody who doesn't have function of their legs. I bet you they'd love to go run. I bet you they'd love to go to the gym. Change your thinking. Change your thinking. Change your life. Help make the world a better, stronger place. This is the Champion Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in.